Hey everyone, in this chapter I want to talk about a really interesting experience we had in one of our mastermind groups. The mastermind group at Entrepreneur Circle have been meeting for over 10 years now, and this fairly recent session was one of the most valuable we've ever had. These real-life examples will give you a sense of how powerful just two key numbers can be for your coaching business too. One of the members, let's call him Bob, is an optician. He runs a chain of optician shops, and like many businesses, he was hit hard by the lockdown. He had to close his shops, even though he kept someone on hand for emergencies and repairs. Now, Bob's a smart guy. We'd worked with him a year earlier to set up a VIP club for his customers, and that brought in about £45,000 or dollars a month. This recurring revenue was a lifesaver during the lockdown. But even with that, he was feeling the pressure. He was dealing with shop refurbs, staffing issues, you name it. At the start of our mastermind meetings, we usually do a quick update round. It's a good way to see where people are at and how things have been going since our last session. Bob started his update talking about all these little details, problems with builders, staff headaches, all that stuff. After a few minutes, he was stopped and asked, "Bob, what are your numbers?" He was flustered. He had the overall numbers for his 5 shops, but he didn't know the specifics for each location. Here's where things get interesting. I want you to think about this for a second. If you were coaching an optician in marketing and sales, what are the 2 most important numbers you'd want them to track? Unfortunately, there's no prize for guessing the right answer, but I'll give you a clue. They are similar to the 2 numbers we've discussed earlier in the course. They're the exact same kind of metrics. Okay, here's the answer. The number of eye tests per week and the average spend per customer. These 2 numbers are the key drivers for Bob's business. More eye tests mean more potential customers, and a higher average spend means more revenue per customer. It's that simple. When we asked Bob for these numbers, he was embarrassed to admit he didn't know them off the top of his head. He's gotten so caught up in the day-to-day weeds that he'd lost sight of the big picture. This was a wake-up call for him. As he was coming out of lockdown, he needed to focus on these 2 numbers. He needs to have regular conversations with his shop managers about hitting their targets for eye tests and average spend. The beauty of these 2 numbers is in their simplicity. Everyone in the business, from the optometrists to the receptionists, can understand them. They provide focus and clarity, which is essential for any business, especially during challenging times. So, how can you apply this to your coaching business? Well, the first step is to identify the 2 key numbers that drive your business. These might be the number of leads you generate, the number of sales calls you make, or your conversion rate. Once you know your numbers, you can start tracking them and making them the focus of your efforts. You can set targets, create action plans, and hold yourself accountable. Remember, it's easy to get lost in the weeds of running a business, but by focusing on your key numbers, you can stay on track and achieve your goals. The power of focusing on the right numbers in your coaching business is something that's helped my clients tremendously, and I think you can do the same for yours. Let me illustrate with a few more examples. Take another client. Let's call him Bob too, a long-term member of the mastermind group as well. He's a specialist in wills and trusts, and he was looking to sell his business and retire the next year. But he'd been feeling stuck, especially with the lockdowns affecting his business. We sat down and figured out that his core focus needs to be writing new wills. Ideally, he wants to be writing 18 wills a week consistently, That's the number that will get him to where he wants to be financially. Now, Bob was only bringing in about 9 or 10 wheels a week. So we started brainstorming in the mastermind group, and that's where the magic happened. One member, Dai, who's a financial advisor, chimed in. He mentioned that he had introduced 24 clients to Bob's business in just 3 months. These weren't just any clients either. They all had significant assets. That got Bob thinking. If he could find just 6 people like Dai, who could each bring in 2 wheels a week, he'd be hitting his target of 18 wheels a week. Suddenly, Bob's focus shifted from feeling overwhelmed to a clear and actionable goal. Find 6 high-quality introducers. This is the power of focusing on the right numbers. It gives you clarity, direction, and a sense of empowerment. It also makes your job as a coach easier because it guides you in your marketing and sales, and you can track your progress more effectively. Let me give you another example. We have a client who runs a Google Ads agency. His goal is to reach a 6-figure monthly income, all from residuals. We determined that to achieve this, he needs to bring on 2 new clients per week. Now, instead of getting lost in the day-to-day weeds of running his business, he can focus on that one key metric. Where are this week's 2 clients coming from? It simplifies his decision-making and helps him prioritize his actions. Whether it's photographers, opticians, or nursery owners, there are always 1 or 2 key numbers that will drive their success. And the same principle applies to any coaching business as well. Your job is to identify those numbers and then keep focusing on hitting them. Now, finding the right numbers might take some effort and exploration. You need to understand your business, your goals, and the factors that influence your success. But once you've found those numbers, it's like turning on a light bulb. Suddenly, everything becomes clear and actionable. So, if you want to achieve your goals and create a more impactful coaching experience, start by focusing on the right numbers. It's a simple but powerful strategy that can make a world of difference. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Let's talk about a crucial part of our system that I touched on in the beginning of the course: stabilizing, optimizing, and maximizing your business. This is a cyclical process that most businesses will go through at least a couple of times, and it can take several months to complete each cycle. So it's important to be patient and persistent. As I mentioned on page 235 and illustrated on the graphic on page 236, this process isn't a quick fix. It's an ongoing project that's likely to take the better part of a year, but the payoff is huge. By the end, you'll have a solid system in place that you understand inside and out, and you'll know exactly what it can deliver. The first phase is stabilization. This is where you focus on building a strong foundation for your sales and marketing efforts. The goal is to attract customers consistently and predictably. You also want to ensure that you can serve those customers effectively and that your operations are running smoothly. Once you've achieved stability, you can move on to the optimization phase. Here, we're all about refinement. We'll work on improving your customer journey, making your sales process less dependent on you, and reducing your customer acquisition costs. We'll use data from your marketing efforts to optimize your funnels and get even better results. Finally, some businesses may choose to enter the maximization phase. This is where you can really hit the gas and expand your business. You might explore new markets, launch new products or services, or even scale up your existing offerings. But remember, even after you've gone through all 3 phases, the system requires ongoing maintenance. Just like a car needs regular tune-ups, your business system needs constant attention to stay in peak condition. Now, I know this system might seem complex, but I promise you can start seeing results in a matter of days. However, mastering it takes time and dedication. It's a continuous learning process, and there's always room for improvement. As Entrepreneur Circle approaches its next anniversary, I'm proud to say that this system represents 25 years of experience and more than 10 years of refinement. My goal now is to help as many coaching businesses as possible implement it successfully. It's not easy and it takes time, but that's what we're here for. If you have any questions, be sure to check out the chapter coming up, or feel free to drop a question. All right? I'll see you there. Hey everyone, and welcome to this chapter. Now that you have the entrepreneur's marketing and sales system laid out for you, you might be wondering, what's next? If you're just starting out, think of this as the training for your first steps to become a true professional business person, right from the get-go. Answers to questions such as where to begin and what's the next step. Also, even if you're seasoned and have been in the coaching business for a while now, you might still find these coming chapters super useful as well. We are going to focus on how to consistently attract and keep customers from the perspective of a person or business starting out from day one. And over the next few videos, I'll share some key secrets to launching your successful coaching business. It's exciting stuff. But first things first, let's get something important out of the way. There is no magic pills or silver bullets. I know you've invested in this course, and by the end of it, you will have all the tools and support you need to succeed as a coach. You'll have learned effective marketing strategies and techniques to help you consistently bring in new clients. But remember, just buying this course won't magically make you successful. You'll need to put in the work, watch all the videos, maybe more than once, learn the material fully, and then actually implement the strategies and techniques that I share with you. It's not enough to just passively consume the content. You need to take action and apply what you learn. Now, I know some of you are experienced and savvy business owners, so this won't come to you as a surprise. But to the ones starting out, I want to be upfront and transparent about the realities of building a successful coaching business. It takes effort and dedication, and there are no shortcuts. Now, about your role in this whole process. While I provide you with the guidance and support you need, ultimately, your success as a coach depends on you. I can't force clients to book discovery sessions or sign up with your services. You're the one who needs to take action. Put yourself out there and make things happen. I want you to remember that you're 100% responsible for your business. It's all on you. Of course, I appreciate you trusting me to guide you on this journey, but whether or not you achieve your goals is ultimately up to you. Finally, I want to emphasize the importance of going through this program methodically. There's a lot of material to cover, and it's designed to build upon itself. So I really hope you didn't skip anything, even if you think you already know something or you've heard someone talk about it before. Trust me, there's always more to learn, especially when you approach it from the perspective of a coach who's focused on achieving consistent customer acquisition. Skipping stuff will only weaken your foundation and hinder your progress. So please, take your time, go through all the chapters in order, and absorb the information fully. All right? That's it for now. We've covered the groundwork, and now it's time to get into the meat of this chapter. I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome to this chapter where we're going to dive deep into something super important. You. That's right, we're going to talk about your goals, your plans, and how to get you to where you want to be. You see, you need to understand the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's impossible to reach your full potential if you don't know what that potential is. So, let's get clear on the gap between your current income, lifestyle, and where you'd like to be. This is the foundation for everything we'll do together. I like this quote by Dwight D. Eisenhower. In preparation for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Think about that for a second. No battle plan survives contact with the enemy, and no business plan unfolds exactly as you wrote it. But the process of planning, of thinking strategically about your goals and how to achieve them, that's what truly valuable. So, while your plans might change, the act of planning is crucial. Without it, you'll end up drifting, procrastinating, and getting stuck. We don't want that. To help you plan effectively, we're going to start by looking back at the past. You've got experience, you've had wins and losses, and there's a lot to learn from that. Remember those plans you made last year? How did they pan out? Did you achieve that 30% growth you were aiming for? Did you launch that new service you were excited about? Be honest with yourself. Reflecting on the past helps us understand our strengths, weaknesses, and those pesky areas where we tend to get stuck. We all have things we're naturally good at, things we'll never do, and a whole bunch of stuff in between that we could do but don't really enjoy. Sometimes, though, that stuff we avoid is exactly what we need to tackle to make real progress. I truly believe that many people don't achieve the success they're capable of because they're too lazy to do the hard things, the uncomfortable things. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. You know those people who make the same New Year's resolutions every year, hit the gym hard for a few weeks, and then fall back into their old habits? Maybe that's you, and maybe it's not about the gym, it's about your business. You were going to send out that newsletter, start that ad campaign, or finally get active on LinkedIn, but life got in the way. Sound familiar? It's time to break the cycle. One tool that can help is the Wheel of Life. It's a simple way to assess different areas of your life and identify where you need to focus. Maybe you're crushing it in your business, but your health or relationships are suffering. Or perhaps you're financially secure, but you're not feeling fulfilled. Understanding where you are now is essential for figuring out where you want to go. And remember, even if you've had success in the past, don't get complacent. It's easy to lose that sense of urgency when things are going well, but that's when you need to push even harder. I learned early on to pay myself first, to take money out of the business and reinvest it in my own growth. My purpose was clear: to provide the lifestyle I wanted for me and my family. That was my driver, my motivator. Of course, I made mistakes along the way. We all do. But I embraced those mistakes. I learned from them and I kept moving forward. Remember, failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to begin again more intelligently. So let's not deny our failures. Let's not pretend we have no regrets. Instead, let's look back, understand where we could have done better, and use that knowledge to build a better future. So let's start setting goals and creating your best year ever. I'm going to share some insights from Michael Hyatt's book, Your Best Year Ever. It's a fantastic resource for mapping out your business goals. Hyatt suggests reflecting on the past year by asking questions like, what were your expectations? Did you meet your goals? What were your accomplishments? And what themes emerged? What life lessons did you learn? This exercise helps you understand where you've been and where you're at right now. It's like taking a business inventory. From there, we can start envisioning the future. Think about what excites you about the next 12 months. What are you worried about? It's okay to acknowledge your concerns. For example, some of you might be nervous about approaching potential clients. That's normal. We'll work on building your confidence. The key is to get it all down on paper. By doing business with the past, you'll be better equipped to set goals and create your best year ever. And when it comes to goal setting, many business owners struggle with this. Why? Because most of us are great in a crisis, but we lack clarity when things are running smoothly. For many entrepreneurs, success is simply meeting payroll and paying the bills. That's a pretty low bar, don't you think? I don't want you to just get by. I want to help you think bigger. What could your life look like if your coaching business really took off? What's stopping you from getting there? We're going to map out your ideal life and figure out what it will take to achieve it. And here's the important part. We're not going to start with where you are now. Most people make that mistake when planning. Instead, we're going to start with where you want to be. Let me tell your story to illustrate this in the next chapter. See you there.